A lot of rides at Disney World are based off an IP, or an intellectual property, but in this video we're going to rank all the rides at Disney World that are not based off an IP, and this is perfect, there's 20 of them. So let's get right into the countdown. Number 20, Triceratops Spin, Disney's Animal Kingdom. To be completely honest, this ride is absolutely pointless. Okay, maybe not 100%, but still. It's located in Dinoland, more specifically Hester and Chester's Dinorama, but this area really needs to go. It's not great. And Triceratops Spin does not have very good views as is, so a spinner ride like this just isn't that great at Animal Kingdom, and I think it should be removed. But it still comes in on this list. Number 19, Tomorrowland Speedway, Magic Kingdom. This is basically Autopia with no setting, so this one isn't very notable at all. Number 18, Journey into the Imagination with Figment, Epcot. This might just be the dumbest ride in the whole world, but with that being said, you can still enjoy it for some of its quirks. At the end of the day, it's kind of a charming ride and it has a catchy soundtrack, which are two things that you would like in a dark ride. There is no question about it that this ride is extremely outdated and could use some updates. And it's a shame that this ride hasn't gotten updates over the years when it probably should have. If you want to laugh like crazy, this is probably the ride to do it because it is just absolutely insane. Like, I still don't know what happened here. Anyway though, Figment is certainly not an IP, and yeah, so I think it's an interesting ride. Number 17, Astro Orbiter, Magic Kingdom. Let's regain some of our sanity for this spinning ride. To be completely honest though, this is a pretty good spinner. It's located on a roof, which is really cool from a views perspective. You get some very cool vantage points from up there. And because of that, you do have to go up an elevator to get to the ride, which is a pretty neat thing. If you're scared of heights and or don't like spinning, I would not recommend riding this attraction, but if you don't care about those other things, I do recommend it because you get some very cool views, as I said, from up there. Not only on ride, but when you're on the platform that the ride is located on as well. Number 16, The People Mover, Magic Kingdom. I sadly did not get to ride this when I visited Disney World in 2021 because it was not open. But from what I've heard, like Astro Orbiter, you can get some very cool vantage points from this ride. But one of my favorite parts about the People Mover, besides the views that you get while you're on it, is the kinetic energy it provides to the whole Tomorrowland area. It really feels like something is happening constantly when the People Mover is circling, which I really like. Number 15, Living with the Land, Epcot. This is kind of a strange boat ride, and it's a little boring in parts, but I can still appreciate it for some of the things it does well. The ride starts inside and then goes outside, and I like some of the visuals throughout the experience. There's also some hidden or not so hidden Mickeys throughout. If you're playing those how many Mickeys can you spot games, then this is the ride to go on because you will spot plenty. This ride, from what I can tell, almost never has a wait, so if you want a ride that you don't wait much for and get a lot of ride time and you can rest your legs, this is one that you could go on. Number 14, Kali River Rapids, Disney's Animal Kingdom. I'm not huge on water rides, so this is one I have not experienced, but from just watching POVs, it looks like a pretty average water ride. With that being said, it does appear to have some nice scenery at sections too. It also does feature a somewhat sizable drop towards the end of the experience, and if you like rapids rides, I would recommend giving this one a shot. Just as I said, I'm not huge on those types of experiences. If anything, this ride does help Animal Kingdom's ride lineup and make it more well-rounded. Number 13, Mission Space, Epcot. Here's another ride on this list that I have not personally done, and it looks like a unique experience. This ride is a simulator, so if you don't like those types of rides, I would not recommend going on that, I know that for sure. But I still don't know how much I would like it. Either way, because I haven't ridden it, I'm just going to place it towards the middle of the list. Number 12, It's a Small World, Magic Kingdom. Those words probably make you remember a certain song. Well, I won't try to get it stuck in your head, but if it happens, don't blame me. Anyway, It's a Small World does have that song, It's a Small World, playing on repeat, and admittedly, it's a little annoying. But I can still appreciate what this ride does well. I've only ridden the Disneyland version, but these rides are very similar, so I'm sure most of the same thoughts I would have on the Disneyland version apply to Disney World. It's an extremely long ride, maybe too long for some people, but I do like what they did here. And you certainly are not getting cut short on ride time, and I love all the cute animatronics on this attraction. Number 11, Jungle Cruise, Magic Kingdom. This is one of the most iconic boat rides in the world, and there's always lots of terrible puns throughout. There is one thing though I like about the Magic Kingdom version when you compare it to Disneyland, and that is the indoor scene with the Bengal tiger. I really wish this was at Disneyland, because this point of distinction between the two is my favorite part about the Disney World version of this boat ride. At this point, 50% of the ride exists just to please all the dad joke lovers out there. And when it comes to this ride and your opinion of it, whatever floats your boat, I guess. Oh boy. Number 10, Kilimanjaro Safaris, Animal Kingdom. As if Disney's Animal Kingdom didn't feel authentic enough already, they decided, alright, let's put in a safari. And I absolutely love that they did that. This is the longest ride at Disney World, taking over 20 minutes. It's not an exact time because it changes a little bit every time, but still, it's a very long experience. And because these are all real animals and not animatronics, you are going to get a different experience every single time, which also can provide some cool surprises along the way. There's tons of cool animals, giraffes, elephants, and so much more. When you're at Animal Kingdom, definitely give it a shot. Number 9, Haunted Mansion, Magic Kingdom. This is also one of the most iconic rides in the entire world. And even after so many years, this ride holds up so well. I love Haunted Mansion. The combination of slightly creepy and fun at the same time was done to absolute perfection on this dark ride. You would think having a creepy section and a fun section would make this ride feel disconjointed, but actually it makes it feel even better. Truly a remarkable ride, and how well the effects have stood up over time is astounding as well. Beware of this ride, because it could scare you to death. I hope not though. Being an alive person is better for living purposes. Haunted Mansion overall though is a very solid dark ride, and you should definitely ride it when you're at Magic Kingdom. Number 8, Pirates of the Caribbean, Magic Kingdom. No, it is not as good as the Disneyland version, but it is still quite good. The best part about this version of Pirates is the expansive sets. It's wild how big some of these sets are on this ride, and it is one of my favorite boat rides of all time. Smelling that water when you walk into the building and hearing the music just makes me happy. And I really appreciate the fans of Magic Kingdom that revolted and asked Disney to add this ride after the park opened. Give yourselves a pat on the back, because it's a good thing you did that, because Pirates of the Caribbean is a terrific ride. Number 7, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Magic Kingdom. You can find this ride in Frontierland, along Splash Mountain by the way, and this is a great family coaster. In my humble opinion, this ride has pretty much everything you'd want in a family coaster. You got airtime moments, you got laterals, you got a great appearance and some theming, and at the end of the day, who doesn't love a good old ride on Thunder Mountain? Is it really the wildest ride in the wilderness though? I don't think so. We'll get to the wildest ride in a little bit. Numero 6, Spaceship Earth, Epcot. This placing may turn some heads, but this ride really impressed me. First off, it is wild how Disney fit a dark ride and a ride as long as Spaceship Earth inside that giant golf ball. Spaceship Earth follows the history of communication technology and how it has evolved over many years. And I think it's pretty cool to see. Could this ride use a couple updates? Yeah, sure. It's not particularly up to date per se. But this is still a top 15 Disney World ride in my opinion as it is right now. Is it slow? Well, yes. Is it boring though? Well, I don't think so. I think this dark ride does what it sets out to do perfectly, and that's why I love it, and that's why it has a top 10 spot on this list. Number 6, Soarin' Around the World, Epcot. This is a ride that the term video does not do it justice applies perfectly. You really just ought to ride this simulator for yourself because it is absolutely fantastic. I basically have no problems with this ride. I mean, the soundtrack is one of the best ride soundtracks ever. It's incredibly iconic at this point, and just hearing it, it makes me want to go on this ride. The visuals are also an A+, but Besides the sights and sounds, you also got smells at select portions. This really completes the ride for me as you're using a bunch of senses throughout the ride. The finale's fun too with that extremely hidden Mickey and all the fireworks. Overall, just a superb simulator. Number 4, Space Mountain, Magic Kingdom. I don't know how this ride doesn't go 30 miles an hour because it feels so fast. I've ridden this Space Mountain 3 times, all in the back seat, and I gotta tell you, if you sit back there, you will get some great ejector airtime pops. It just felt like this layout was so unpredictable, and while I wish there was music and other onboard audio touches, it doesn't really matter. The airtime and the surprise drops is what carries this experience, and it's still a ride that you need to do at Magic Kingdom. Number 3, Rock and Roller Coaster, Disney's Hollywood Studios. As far as indoor coasters though, this is basically Space Mountain on steroids to some extent. This Vekoma launch coaster features a launch obviously, and a couple inversions in the dark, and this one does have onboard audio. And the audio is great too. To some extent, some of this ride is outdated, but I still loved riding it. The launch had some force to it, and the inversions were fun, and while there are some dead spots, the music is able to compensate for a lot of that. Overall, it's just a very fun roller coaster, and it's pretty smooth too from what I remember. Is this the best ride at Hollywood Studios? Probably not, there's a lot of good dark rides there. But it is certainly a fun roller coaster, and one that if I had the chance right now, I would ride in a heartbeat. Number 2, Test Track, Epcot. This ride is superb. And here's a fun fact, it is the fastest Disney ride in the entire world. So when you take a ride on this attraction, you can say, yeah, I'm going on a record breaker right now. Test Track has 2 parts. The first part is running so-called tests on your vehicle, while the second part is outside. The first part has some fast moments, but it's basically an appetizer for what's to come. The second part has a lot of fast moments. And that is when you reach your record-breaking top speed. The ride uses the same system as Radiator Springs Racers in California. Is it as good as Radiator Springs Racers? Well, no. But Test Track is still an elite ride in my opinion, and the best one at Epcot. And coming in at number 1 is Expedition Everest from Animal Kingdom. With all due respect to all the other rides on this list, in my mind there was never even a competition for what was going to be number 1. When this ride opened, it turned heads for multiple reasons, but one of them was because it was the most expensive roller coaster ever built. I tell you what, that $100 million was well spent because this is a stellar roller coaster. Not only does it have a fun drop, but it also has a great backwards section along with amazing on and off ride theming. I still think that this is the best themed roller coaster in the entire world. And hey, Disco Yeti! Who doesn't love Disco Yeti? Anyway, in all seriousness, Expedition Everest is absolutely amazing, and yeah, it comes in at number 1 on this list. So there you have it, all the non-IP rides for you.